Good afternoon. The Sydney Swans captain has apologised to all women after a shocking week that has shaken the club to its core and left fans seething. Club bosses are promising change amid fresh claims about what happened in the early hours of Monday morning in a Melbourne hotel room. Chief reporter Chris Reason has the latest.
Good afternoon. Another major twist in the Swan saga today, with the father of the victim now speaking exclusively to 7 News as the captain and coach of the team face the cameras for the most difficult press conference of their careers. Callum Mills and coach Dean Cox, accompanied by the CEO and other players, came out to provide their first insight into the nightmare week. Their first comments came in support of the women at the club, the community and those at the centre of the allegations, offering an apology to all.
We take full responsibility and we are deeply sorry.
It's been a really hard week for everyone involved at the football club. We're not shying away from that. We've got a lot of work to do.
They said they were extremely disappointed with the 5 players and the behaviour in that room at the Pullman and backed the decision to suspend them.
Have you spoken to them, Callum?
Yes, I have.
And how was that conversation?
Extremely hard.
We are fully supportive of the decision the board made. That is unanimous.
But their comments came after explosive allegations were today made against the team by a lawyer acting for 2 of the 3 women involved that night, who says up to 9 Swans members were actually in the room.
My clients were subjected to type of behaviours which are totally unacceptable in this day and age. Degrading behaviour, which was abusive.
The Swans were quick to issue a statement labelled misinformation, where they countered those claims, insisting there were only 5.
Dean, can you confirm that you were not in that room that night?
I wasn't in the room.
Also today, the father of the adult entertainer at the centre of the scandal has told 7 News his daughter suffered a medical episode in the room and no one assisted. More tonight at 6. Both Mills and Cox admitted there were major trust and cultural issues now to repair, but they are determined to do what they can to win the community's support back. Back to you.
Chris Reason there. A community is in mourning after the search for missing hiker Lily Hooper ended in tragedy. The 18-year-old's body was airlifted out of the Natai National Park earlier today. There's been a huge outpouring of support and messages for the 18-year-old and her family. We'll have more on this story later in the bulletin. A former colleague has taken the stand at the Alan Jones trial, recalling a lunch where one complainant alleges he was groped under the table. The court heard the man appeared devastated after the alleged encounter. Nick Overall was in court.
Well, as the trial enters its 13th day, today the court has heard from a witness who was at a lunch on the North Shore where complainant C alleges Alan Jones groped him under the table. The witness recalled the alleged incident. "I saw Alan was sitting with his right hand on the stem of a wine glass. His left hand was underneath the table. He, the complainant, looked distraught." Later he said another person at the lunch was, quote, ribbing the complainant, asking him, "You were copping a feel." He says as Jones and complainant C were walking back towards the car after the lunch, Jones was patting him on the back and squeezing the bottom of his neck. He, the complainant, looked absolutely devastated. Witness C has accused Jones of repeatedly kissing and touching him over several years. He says this happened in Jones's car as well as in the elevators at the 2GB radio station and Jones's Macquarie Street apartment. C previously told the court he confided in Ray Hadley, saying Hadley offered to go with him to police, but C declined. Jones's lawyers are attempting to argue Hadley wanted to destroy Jones, his talkback radio rival. Hadley is expected to give evidence at some time next week. Alan Jones denies all of the allegations.
Federal police say they've foiled an espionage plot on Australian soil involving an alleged Russian military spy. The dual citizen from Victoria is accused of trying to share critical information about Ukraine's military. National Security Editor Tim Lester has the details.
Australian Federal Police have confirmed the arrest of a 27-year-old Russian-born Australian dual citizen taken into custody in Brisbane yesterday. Now, his matter has gone to the Brisbane Magistrates Court today, but details of the case have been outlined by the Federal Police Commissioner here at a news conference this afternoon.
We will allege the 27-year-old man sought to provide information about Ukrainian military activities to individuals he believed were linked to Russian intelligence services. A number of electronic devices and various items relevant to the investigation were seized, which will undergo extensive forensic examinations.
The charge of attempting to engage in foreign interference arises from an investigation by Domestic Intelligence Agency ASIO and Federal Police. They say the man went to Russia in mid-2024 where he established contacts, then travelled back to Australia and on to Ukraine in mid-2025 where he gathered intelligence, apparently then trying to pass it on to Russian authorities.
We allege elements of this offending occurred in Australia and offshore. At this stage, there is nothing to suggest there was or is any threat to Australia.
Since 2020, Federal Police and ASIO have charged 8 individuals now with espionage or foreign interference.
We have been engaged with numerous domestic and international partners, so I can confirm engagement across various partners there, and it would be a matter for Ukraine then as to whether they were going to commence any prosecutions in the Ukraine.
The Commissioner says the work by Federal Police in this case reflects a new emphasis in the AFP on national security.
Tim Lester in Canberra. A driver has escaped serious injury after his four-wheel drive rolled onto its side at Sydney Olympic Park overnight. The 29-year-old was briefly trapped following the two-car crash on Underwood Road just before 10 o'clock, but managed to escape. The second vehicle sustained minor damage. Both drivers involved returned negative breath tests. The SES is warning Sydney siders it's time to get ready for storm season, saying gutters should be cleared now and outside items secured. A household emergency plan should also be discussed.
Don't take the risks. You keep your area tidy, well then the wind won't impact on you in that way, and the rain will continue to run down the storm area.
Emergency crews are gearing up for a busy 8 months. Last storm season, the state's volunteers responded to more than 23,000 incidents.